When you hear the words Johnson Central, one of the first names that comes to mind is Geordon Blanton. As well it should, with his astounding athletic resume, two-time state champion in wrestling, state champ in football, and a preseason finalist for Mr. Baseball. We all know Geordon as the athlete that makes great catches and phenomenal plays.
Geordon Blanton bangs one to second. That'll score Geordon Blanton to make it 2-0. Why not try Geordon Blanton over the defender in second?
Every time we've been in a situation, he's kind of overachieved my expectation. I don't know how. I mean, we get up against a situation that, well, this is one we probably aren't going to win, and he ends up pulling something out of the hat. It's really been amazing.
It melts my heart. I'm so proud, but I'm so shocked that we gave birth to that.
Yeah, shocked is a good word.
Shocked is a very good word because he never ceases to amaze us.
But who is Nails Blanton once you take the helmet off?
When you think of me, you think of sports, but that's not really the case, I try to be a good guy, These guys will probably say I'm mean, but that's just who I am, I try to be nice and I try to be a good guy. But I want people to think of me as a good person, not just as a good athlete or good sports player,
However, it is through sports where people can understand and see his character.
The kid was tough as nails. I saw that right off the bat. He'd get knocked down. He was always the first one up. Just sliding into second base head first. His uniform was always the dirtiest on the field, and it still is.
He is the hardest worker I've ever met.
He is his hardest critic. We don't have to be hard on him. He does that himself.
He doesn't question, why'd you tell me to do this? He will just take your advice, incorporate it into his game, and work on it until he gets it right.
One great story is I was before the state tournament, the state wrestling tournament 2 seasons ago. We were in the wrestling room, and I relayed a story to the wrestlers about one time I was wrestling in a meet up at the Naval Academy, and a friend of mine from the Naval Academy almost beat the NCAA champion on one move. Well, I looked around and I'm aggravated because it doesn't seem like they're paying attention. It didn't feel like that Geordon was paying enough attention. Well, we go into the state tournament and he uses that one move 3 times and wins the state championship.
His work ethic is alive and well with the amount of competitiveness that he has.
Anybody else touched the ball, it was merciless. He was merciless. That's one thing. That would be one of those 3 words. He was, when it comes to competitiveness, he's merciless. I know it sounds bad, but now he's hard-nosed when it comes
But we did have to teach him a lot of that, because he does have such a kind heart. He is such a kind person.
I remember one time in Little League, he was 12 years old, he slid into a little 9-year-old kid, and it tore him all to pieces because kid's laying there and he picks him up and dusts him off. He comes back in the dugout. He said, "Coach, that's the last thing I wanted to do was ever hurt a little 9-year-old." But that's the type of character he's got.
He still was the first guy out of the dugout to congratulate somebody else on a big hit, or in football, somebody make a big tackle. He was always there. So, and that says a lot. And he still plays the same way.
We were playing baseball one time against a team from Pikeville. I can't really remember where it was at, but Geordon threw one from dead center field, and it short hopped me. And as I was coming up, this kid just put his head in my chest and just flat backed me. And before I had time to stand up, Geordon was standing over top of me, he was right there behind me, ready to fight the kid. It was pretty cool.
With having this type of character comes the responsibility of being a leader.
He leads by example. When you're the first one on the field and the first one off the field, when you're willing to dive after a ball that you really can't make a play on, but you're just trying to set that example, that's leadership.
He doesn't go out and seek it, but it's just there. Most of the time when we were playing baseball or on a team, we almost deferred. It's almost like, tell us what to do.
I always just kind of had somebody to look up to and set a standard. I always viewed Geordon as the standard, and if I could get to that level, I'd feel like I'd be doing pretty good. Same thing in the classroom.
He is a great student as well as a great athlete. That's something that we lose focus on a lot of times with our athletes, is what are they like in the classroom. He is a great student, so hand in hand with being an athlete, his success in the classroom is just as impressive to me as his athleticism.
All of this could lead to a big head, but that's not the case with Geordon.
Well, I mean, I've known Geordon since I was in kindergarten, so I mean, that's been about 13 years. And, you know, Geordon's always been the same kid he was back when he was younger, you know. The good thing is about Geordon is all this stuff just doesn't go through his head, and he's still the same person he was when he was young.
He was honest. He treated everyone the same. He would treat the best player and the worst player equally.
Well, he fits in well with the kids. You know, he's down to earth. He's good-natured. He doesn't feel like you're supposed to give him things.
So what's the goal?
The goal, I want to go to college for baseball. I love sports, you know, I've always been around it my whole life, and I'm going to continue to be around it my whole life.
And he's taking it to the collegiate level. In October of 2016, Geordon signed to play baseball at Marshall University.
He called me and told me that he was going to commit, and I was like, I just initially thought about, I'm spending like the next 5 years, and like, you know, you think about like the rest of your life, and you don't want to get old, but like that's basically what's supposed to be like the best 4 or 5 years of your life, and I'll be spending it with like one of my best friends.
A new level now, you know, whole different experience, whole different ball game. Once you go up to college, you know, it's the best. You know, it'll be Division I. It'll be tough. You got to compete, which I'm really looking forward to.
He will be missed here in the mountains.
We'll be pretty lost without him next year. He's my best friend. I mean, I want as much time I can have with him before he leaves.
I've spent the past 6 months getting to know Geordon Nails Blanton. To say he's one of the most humble athletes I've ever met would be an understatement. The reason he is a leader is not because of his stat line, it's because of his work ethic, his passion, his drive, and his ability to treat everyone equally. He has not only inspired others, but he's inspired me as well. Yes, his athletic ability will be missed in Paintsville, but his character and charisma is something that is irreplaceable. Geordon will be a success no matter where he goes, and I wish him all the best.